Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Aditya and in this video we'll be learning about arrays. So first let us begin with the definition. So what exactly is an array? An array is a simple collection of data. So let's have a small example to understand this more clearly. So when we want to declare suppose I have my friends, some kind of 30 friends, I want to store their names and do some kind of calculation or do some kind of function. That time I would either create a lot of variables and store their names, or just create a one variable and assign it to an array of names. So an array can store all my friends' name and reference it with the variable, only a single variable rather than creating multiple variables. So that's how arrays are used. So in arrays, JavaScript arrays are similar to Python lists. And in JavaScript arrays, you can even store different kinds of data types inside a single array. Suppose we take C++ in Java, mostly we only store a single data type inside an array. So without wasting any time, let's go down the screen and check out arrays. Hey guys, so right now we are on the screen. So I have opened REPL and I have already made the REPL. So now let's declare a variable called let names equals an array. So an array is represented with these square brackets, and inside this you can give all the elements. So suppose I want to give my name Adi and then Ram. So I forgot to keep this quotes, and then comma Krish, and then comma Pandey. So these are all my friends' names, suppose. So now what if we have declared an array of all strings inside them? We can even have numbers inside them, no problem. So now let's try how to get the values out of them. We can use for loops for that. So let us check with for loops how do we get them. Before that, we'll learn about how do we get values using indexes. So the first, always remember, counting in programming starts with 0. So the first value inside the array is represented with 0, and the second is with 1, and the third is with 2. So like that it goes on. So I want to get the first value, I'll keep 0, I keep the square brackets and I keep 0. That's the syntax. And I can just console.log this thing, and let's check the output. So let me just clear this thing. So it's not running, why? So as you can see, yeah, we got Adi. So that was the first value inside the array. Now what do we want the third value or second value? For getting the third element, that is Krish, we use second because it starts with 0. So when I do that, again it will give me Krish, the third value. So now we have understood about indexes. Using indexes, how we can get the elements. Now let's see how we can use for loops to get them. So we have discussed about basic for loops that can also be used, but that's limited to the number which you give. You give like I less than or equal to, or I greater than or equal to. So when it reaches that, you can't. If your array elements are more than that, then you must again increase this value also. For that, for solving those kinds of problem, we have a for of loop. So I can just keep x of and then give the array names and keep the braces, and here we'll print console.log, and inside that we'll print x. So now this for loop is looping on all these array elements, and this x is representing each element. So now when we run this program, it should print all the names inside them. So as you can see, we have got Adi, Ram, Krish and Pandey. So like that, we can even there is another loop also called as for in. So these are kind of similar to Python for loops. So in Python we just have for x in range and for x in names, like that, arrays or lists in Python. So now let's use in loop, for in loop. So for that, the syntax is just similar, and we just replace off with in. Now when I print this, we won't get the values, we'll get the index values. So as you can see, I have told you counting starts with 0 in programming. So 0, 1, 2, 3. These 4 values are represented from 0 to 3. Now what if we want to print the names using this x, using for x? That time we just use the index as I have told in the first. So we just write names and I keep x inside these square brackets. Now let me run the program and we'll get all of the values inside them. So that's how we use for loops for getting the array elements. Let us discuss few kind of array methods. So names, first we'll see how we can add some data, or first let us check how we add length, how we check the length. So here we can see all the array methods: concat, every, filter, for each, and push, reduce. There are a lot of them. So let me just check the length of it. So console.log, so console.log and keep the brackets. Yeah, now let's run the program and check it. So we got 4. So that's right, we have 4 elements. Now let us try to add an element. For adding element, we just use a method called push. So this will add the element in the last. So now let's add a value called, let's keep Joe. So Joe. Now let's run this program. So as you can see, it has incremented. There is one more value inside that. So now let me just copy this, Control C and then Control V and remove the length. So it will print the array, right? So when we check that, we are gonna see even Joe is included. So I think it might not be so clear. So as you can see, we even have Joe here. So that's how we push or add some values. We can use pop to remove. So now let me just remove. Pop will remove element from the last, names dot pop. So as you can see here, we have a method called pop, and we can just run this program and check it. But see, as we have 4 over here, but we have 5 over here in the output. There are 5 names, but the output, the length is 4. So for checking that also, we'll just print this console.log and print after popping what are the values. Control V. And now let's check it. So as you can see, it has removed Joe again. So that's how there are kind of many more, like reverse. It will reverse the order. So let's just check them. So first I'll write console.log. Let me just copy this. So console.log, Control V, and here we'll use reverse dot reverse. So reverse, reverse, and that's a method. So always keep these brackets. Now when we run, as you can see here in the third line, it has got from the last element. So Pandey is in the last actually. If you see over here, Pandey is in the last. But when we use the reverse, it is reversing. Pandey is coming first, Krish is coming second, Ram third, and Adi in the last. So that's how. There are actually a lot of methods. We just can't cover all of them in a single video. So we'll be covering when kind of time comes, like in the future. So in the next video, we'll be learning about objects. So thanks for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel and see you in the next video.